At Direct Service Overhead, we know how much trust you put in the individuals who have the privilege of working on the components of your home. We understand that a broken garage door is the last thing you want to be worried about, and most of the time, doors break at the most inconvenient times. Our professionally trained technicians service 24 hours a day, and our high-cycle parts are guaranteed to make a noticeable impact on your garage door without putting a damper on your wallet. If you're looking for need of assistance maintaining your current garage door, our team has the experience and expertise to deliver the results you deserve. Give Direct Service Overhead a call today or visit us online to learn more.
All right, I had not planned on doing this at all, so not really prepared to do this. Not only did I not plan on doing this, but obviously we couldn't watch the damn game on television, and that's probably a good thing. 3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans? I wasn't doing this. I wasn't planning on doing this because you could tell I'm wearing my beanie because my hair, I've had a cowlick all day and I've been walking around with it, and I ran in here really quick, finished making the thumbnail for the show, and I updated the thing here where it says post game and it's got the Hofstra logo there. I was like, oh no, I ran down, I sat down, turned on OBS, and my hair is like, it's like crap. So I just reached for a beanie. So for those of you who are going to ask what's with the beanie, that's what's going on. I'm sure people are going to come in later, but I'm working with a lot here. Arkansas falls to Hofstra. Yeah. I'm not shocked. I said Friday, I have them on upset alert, but I didn't think they would lose. I really didn't. I thought it would be a tough game. I thought it'd be tight. They like to shoot beyond the arc, and we know Arkansas's 3-point defense is garbage. Now, like many of you, I don't watch. I'm sorry. No, and I love that we have Pinto out there streaming the games, and whatever fan account wants to go out and stream the games, hey, that's good for them. Awesome. I don't watch those because there's no, like, you can't sync the radio up with what's going on. You don't know what's going on just watching those. It's cool that anybody does those, though. I will say that. So to all the people that were doing that, I'm sorry you had to sit through that live and watch that. That was I hopped in Pintos for like maybe a minute, and was like, no, I'm going to listen to Coach and voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett. I'm glad this one wasn't televised. I'm glad this was tucked away down in Little Rock. I'm glad that this wasn't on national television. Not that it would because it's Hofstra, but I'm glad it's not on SEC++. I'm glad there wasn't some bootleg stream out there, where maybe there was someone kind of hidden doing play-by-play, tucked away with a microphone like, okay, here's what's going on. I'm glad none of that was happening because that was absolute garbage. It was garbage. That was some really bad basketball based on what we heard. Can't say anything about fouls because again, I only know what Chuck was telling us. It sounded like there were a couple of pretty bad calls, but I don't know how much officiating had to do with it. What's up, Jump Master Scott? Hey Ty, we needed this. We needed this as a fan base. Gets us ready for next year with our football team. We're just Arkansas. We need to apparently get used to it again. Boy, that is the most pessimistic comment I think I've ever read. Kyle, IPWN Kyle, or IPone Kyle, I guess is his name. That was extremely pessimistic. Shouldn't have been on the radio. That's how bad it was. It didn't sound good. Again, it sounds like their 3-point, their perimeter defense sounds like garbage. Still, doesn't sound like anything got better. Let's go over the numbers while we're here. Let's go over the numbers. Why not? Hofstra, not like they lit it up. It's not like these guys knocked down 10 of 22. They were 7 of 22, 32%, right around there. They were really good at the free throw line, 87%. That's ridiculous. And they win this thing by 8, 89 to 81. Again, if I messed up the thumbnail or the score and the title, I was in a rush. I don't really give a damn. We're here. We're talking. I'd probably be pretty heated had I watched that game. I'm glad that I didn't. These guys shot 47% field goal percentage. That's kind of ridiculous. That's pretty good. 31 to 65. But again, probably the biggest spark for them was former Razorback Iola. Iola. I've heard that pronounced. I've heard different people over the years pronounce that when he was here. I remember that being a topic. How the hell do you pronounce his last name? The former Hog, as we shall call him, he ends up having a double-double. Actually, he had a triple-double. No, double-double. Okay, I thought I was looking at that wrong. He had a double-double. I thought I saw – okay, thank God. All right. I was like, that's ridiculous. I didn't think he had a triple-double, but he had a double-double. He did have 4 offensive rebounds, 10 defensive rebounds, 14 total rebounds, an assist, a steal. He only turned the ball over twice. He didn't get into any real serious foul trouble, and he had 18 points. Their leading scorer was Estrada. Sound like that dude. Well, him and Ray both were problematic. They both had 22. So Ray did have 22 points, but clearly, 2 players in double-doubles. That's ridiculous. He had 10 rebounds, 8 assists. He nearly had a triple-double. Estrada nearly had a triple-double. He had 8 assists. And that's ridiculous, first off. 8 assists. That must be nice. I mean, they tied in the assist category, 17 and 17. I thought I heard some pretty decent ball movement, especially in the second half. But they go on these continuous, 3.5-minute scoring droughts, right, the Razorbacks. And I noticed that against Oklahoma. I think Cincinnati, they had a 2.5 or 2:45, 2-minute and 45-second scoring drought. I'm going to have to do some reading tonight from people who were there to get a better assessment. People who watched the game, who had eyeballs on it. I'm not ready. I'm supposed to make my pick, and I'm going to do this on Monday. I'm gonna make my pick on Monday where I think the Hogs are going, but I think a lot of you probably already know where I'm going. I said over the last several weeks I don't like them, and I didn't like them in the top 15. Hell, I didn't like them in the top 10. I didn't like them in the top 15. I didn't like them in the top 20. Obviously they have no business being ranked. My guess is I'm sure a lot of people are probably going to drop them out of their pick to make a tournament run to make the tournament. And that's easy to say after back-to-back losses, after a blowout loss to Oklahoma, and then after this 8-point loss to Hofstra. I'll give you a high five if you can guess where the hell that's at without Googling it. I mean, and that's basketball. I mean, it's similar in baseball. These mid-majors and these small programs, you never know what they're, especially with the transfer portal, and especially with the way, I mean, they've got a couple of transfers on that roster, I believe 2 or 3, maybe more. But they obviously they have a couple. Really, I don't know. I think for the first time, I wanted to do this stream. I hadn't planned on doing it until 4 minutes to go or whatever, and they cut that lead. I knew at about the 6-minute mark, okay, this is not – Arkansas was making a little bit of a run, and then Hofstra was able to just cut it down. I mean, once again, very similar to the Oklahoma game, only that Oklahoma was good enough that they could build on top of their lead and then stretch it out. Hofstra couldn't do that tonight. But similar. Arkansas would get within 4. They would get within 3. They would get within 6, and then they'd fall back down. And, of course, they'd end up losing by 9. I think the largest lead of the night was 14 or 15. And, again, very similar to Oklahoma. And then Oklahoma was able to just put an exclamation mark at the end of the game. They got a problem. I mean, clearly, back-to-back losses are not good. I seem to remember last year Arkansas needing back-to-back losses. I'm not in panic mode. I'm not. Am I concerned? Yeah, and I think everyone should be a little bit concerned here. I mean, right? But I'm not willing to say it's hopeless. I'm just not that guy. Especially, I mean, I like Musselman. We've seen him bounce back from this before. It's not like Hofstra walked in here and beat you by 25. It's not like Hofstra did what Oklahoma did to you. Arkansas made a. I mean, they turned it over a little bit too much. 15 turnovers to 17 assists. That's a +2 assist to turnover ratio. That's not great. That's really bad. Arkansas shot horrible in the first half. They should have had that been anyone else in the first half, they're probably trailing by 20 points, 15, 20 points at half. They were horrible in the first half. They once again get off to these slow ass starts. And we wonder why they're playing catch up in the second half. And then you find yourself, if you don't get it figured out in the second half, well, we've seen what can happen. And that's happened the last 2 weeks now. Oklahoma, I don't know what to make of them. I don't know, but that loss is embarrassing. Losing to, not trying to hate on OU, but I mean, they weren't a team, especially with a year one coach and some turnover on their roster. They weren't expected to do what they did in Tulsa against Arkansas. And then obviously tonight wasn't expected. Right now it's not cool. I get it. Right now it kind of sucks, and I don't know. They do miss Justin Smith. I agree. They miss Tate. They miss Moses Moody. I don't know what they're going to do at point guard. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm a little bit concerned at a couple spots on the floor. I don't know. I mean, you're double digits into the season, and they're still having trouble out in the perimeter. They just don't play good defense outside. And, again, it's not like Hofstra killed you outside. It's not like this is a game where you're looking out on the perimeter and it was just horrendous, numbers-wise. I don't know. It sounded over the radio like they did pretty good defending the three to some extent. Patrick Champion says, "Yo, Tyzilla." I haven't heard that in a while. It's the beanie, isn't it? Maybe Muss should have taken a play from UAPB coach and called a timeout to make them run laps. Kidding, but my God, what more can you do? I really don't know. I'm at a loss for words. I did have them on upset alert. I said this game, the matchup worries me. Hofstra moves the ball really well. They take a lot of shots outside. They're pretty good at creating their own shots. Arkansas, we know, struggles outside on both ends of the floor. Hofstra, the thing that I felt pretty good about was the size advantage. You have the talent, the depth, all that stuff. Right now, they don't have it. They don't have it together. I mean, you've got 3 individuals and a couple of teammates right now. I don't know why we didn't see more Jackson Robinson. He knocks down a 3. He misses 1, and then he's pulled. He shoots 50% outside, and we don't see him again. I don't know how many minutes Jackson got tonight, but it wasn't enough. I felt like he should have been on the floor a little bit more. Now, here's what's crazy. We're going to sit here and blame the things that have gone wrong for the Hogs when they've lost. It's been, well, what's going on with Note and Likes? Between the two of them, they had 39 points. I mean, their production was solid tonight. Now, Note turned the ball over 6 times. I think that's the most all year from him, and that might be a career high in turnovers for him. I'm not really sure. We might want to look that up. 6 turnovers. He did end up with a couple assists, couple steals. Likes had 3 steals, 6 rebounds. I mean, it was a pretty productive night. Of course, he fouled out. Likes fouled out. Devo fouled out. Not a single one of the starting 5 that they went with tonight got into double-digit scoring. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know, but here you are. You scored 81 points, and that's not good enough to beat Hofstra. You scored 81 points, and that's not good. And again, had I just told you the score and not given you any of the stats, your automatic assumption's like, oh, well, they must have knocked down like 14 threes. They must have just killed us outside. It was 7 of 22. Again, that's sub 32%. That's not terrible. I would love if Arkansas could do that every night. If they could shoot around 32% outside, I would love that. And Arkansas shot 38% tonight, but they still, outside, they shot 38%. They were 12 of 31. Second half, they kind of woke up outside in the perimeter. And, look at your, listen, you made 4, 8, 9, 10, 11 threes. So Jackson Robinson did come back in and play, apparently. Okay. Maybe I was looking at KK's numbers. I was looking at KK. Yeah, I was. KK went 1 of 3. So, okay, Jackson went 3 of 4. I don't know how many minutes he got. It didn't sound like he had very many. And, of course, we won't know the minute sheet until that refreshes, until ESPN gets it caught up. Let's refresh, see if they got it caught up. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, it's updated. Okay. My man shoots 3 of 4 outside, and he logs 8 minutes. He had 9 points in 8 minutes. And he didn't start tonight. Jackson Robinson did not start. KK started. That was your change in the lineup, along with Amude. Amude also got the start. Tony and Jalen and Devo were your normal starters, obviously with Note and Likes on the bench. And Likes is kind of off and on this year, been coming off the bench. But I don't know. Wade got 10 minutes tonight. I didn't know that. I thought I heard his name once. I know he had at least a rebound. I don't get that. I don't know how that guy goes 3 of 4 and he only gets 8 minutes. 3 of 4 outside shooting and he got 8 minutes. Hopefully Jackson Robinson he's earning more time. And I've talked about him going back 4 or 5 weeks to the beginning of the year. This is a guy that needs to find his way onto the floor and get more time. And we need to see him get more time. He's got to be that next guy that steps up for when JD Note and Likes are ice cold, which is going to happen a lot. And they can heat up. Tonight they were clearly on it. I mean, both of them they both hit 8 threes. Again, 11 threes off the bench, right? You had a couple of your starters close to double digits, and Tony did his typical thing on rebounds. He led you in offensive rebounds. He had 3 by himself. I don't know. ESPN, and once again, their numbers aren't adding up here. I'm looking. They have 6 offensive rebounds, but they've got Jalen with 1 offensive rebound, and Devo with 1, and then Tony with 3. That's 5. So either they had 5 or 6, or they're missing somebody's stats here, but you got to be careful after these games reading these numbers. But I know what I heard, and it clearly sounded like there's still some issues defensively. The pick and pops were definitely working for Hofstra. Again, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what they do in conference play, see what kind of adjustments. Does Jackson Robinson get more time on the floor? Jalen Robinson doesn't need to change much. Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams doesn't need to change much. 2 blocks tonight, 3 assists, 8 rebounds. He had 7 defensive rebounds and 1 offensive rebound. I mean, that's a pretty good night for him. Out of all the 5 starters, that's a pretty productive night. Tony with 9 points, 7 rebounds, and a steal. Thought he had a block too, did he not? Oh yeah, there it is, and a block. Yeah, I don't know. Disappointed, but I'm not. Again, I'm not in panic mode. I'm prepared and I'm ready. I have a pretty good feeling on where I'm going to project Arkansas, but so many times under Muss, even going back to year 1, where if he gets it fixed, if he manages to find the rotation that he likes, find the starting 5 that he likes, figures out, get a couple of guys solidified in their roles. We've seen this before. I mean, Connor Nolan, dear Lord, can you tell I wasn't prepared tonight? Connor Vanover is a good example last year. Connor Vanover had to fight to get minutes. He got minutes. He went on that 3 or 4 game hot streak. Remember that? He was on fire. And then all of a sudden we started seeing less of him, and we couldn't figure out why, and Arkansas goes on this win streak. Weird things happen, and I think Muss does a pretty good job of figuring out the rotation, figuring out the right chemistry. This is the thing I think that's really backfiring on them right now, and it's the amount of turnover that they're having to deal with year in and year out. You're going to do this where you hit the reset button and you bring in all these transfers, which I'm all about the portal. Look, for football, we're all cheering about the portal right now, right? There's no reason to be bummed about the portal existing and having that immediate eligibility. Last year, it paid dividends for the Razorbacks. You don't go as far as you did last year in the NCAA tournament without the transfer portal. Make no mistake about it. Justin Smith was huge for them last year. Maybe they'll find that guy. Maybe it is Tony. Maybe Tony will up his offensive production, although he's averaging double-digit scoring. He's averaging like 12, I think? 12, 13 points. I don't know. I don't expect him to do much better than that. Maybe Amude gets it turned on. I don't know. Maybe we continue to see a little bit more team ball from these from Likes and Note. Again, they didn't have horrible nights. Now, not seeing the game, it's really hard to explain because I didn't see any. I have nothing to tell you in terms of what we saw on the floor, but KK tonight, they start him and he gets 4 minutes. It was clear that tonight was motivation about getting Note off the bench. That's clear. Let's just bring him off the bench. Let's bring JD Note. We'll give KK. We'll give him a few minutes. That's another guy I can't figure out. I don't know if he's playing with some injury that we don't know about. You had 3 guys off the bench get double-digit minutes. Wade got, I think, the most. It's got to be one of the most minutes he's had on the floor this year. He had 10 minutes. I want to say in one of the blowout games, UCA or did he get some minutes against Little Rock? I don't remember. There was one game I think he did end up with like 8-9 minutes. I could be wrong, but I think this is the most minutes he's gotten on the floor. So it's clear that Muss is still trying to experiment, still trying to get guys figured out in their rotation. I hope Robinson, talking about Jackson Robinson, the sophomore 6'6" guard. This cat, 6'6", 190 pounds, pretty decent wingspan, but that's not what he's about, right? This is a guy that's supposed to be a great perimeter shooter. He's averaging just 4 points right now. And he's probably averaging, I don't know how many minutes, 6-7 minutes a game. I'm pretty sure, I feel pretty confident after his performance tonight he's going to get some more minutes. He's got to, right? Hogs will fall to 9-2, LSU 11-0, Auburn 9-1, Alabama 8-2, Kentucky 8-2, Tennessee 8-2. There's some pretty good teams here that I feel like they're still in pretty good shape. In the SEC, everyone's going to panic. Oh, no, and they're still going to end up sending probably 1 more than you expect, 2 more maybe. The SEC has gotten better. It's just early season woes, and it's happening all around college basketball, and it's hitting the SEC. SEC's, they're not immune to it. Maybe we're going to look back on this game and think, God, had we played them 8 games, 9 games later, I feel like, or 10 games later, different outcome. Had we not played in Little Rock, how much did that have to do with it? They've struggled in Little Rock. Jay Will, the last 2 games has been outplayed big time. Were you at the game? Because that didn't sound like that to me. It sounded like he did okay. His numbers didn't. It sounds like he did all right. I didn't see. Did he get boxed out? Was he getting pushed around down low? I don't know. I didn't see it. I didn't hear Zimmerman talk about it. Sad thing is if it wasn't for Note fouling out at the end, Jackson wouldn't have even had 9 minutes. Yeah. I was kind of half listening throughout most of the game. My kids were talking to me, and we've been watching. I told you guys we've been watching a lot of Star Wars, and we're kind of hanging out, and I was kind of listening in. I swear I thought I heard him say KK was on the floor, and I thought, wait, what? Okay, it's good. It's good to hear that. Iola's Ty Story Part 2. Yeah, but Ty Story got Chad Morris fired. You're not firing Chad Morris. Hopefully I think what you're implying, Judd, is that Maybe it wakes them up. Maybe it wakes Arkansas up. I don't know. Keep playing like that. Keep playing like they are the last two games. They will go 0 in conference play. Alex, do you think they're not winning a single game? I'm not going that far. You can back away from the ledge, guys. I mean, I promise. Like even if you don't make tournament, I mean, look, you know, this is why I always wait until after your final conference or non-conference game. I started doing this last year. Last year is when I was like, all right, look, I'm not going to make an official prediction till we get through these non-con games. We got to figure out, because at least by the end of those non-con games, you'll have an idea of what your identity might be, and maybe you'll be able to shine a bright spot or a bright light, I guess. You're able to put some sunlight on your weaknesses and the things that you're struggling at. And clearly Arkansas has some issues. And Hofstra and Oklahoma and some of these other games that you've even won, we've been talking about for several weeks now. Like, okay, something's clearly going on. Some of you guys in chat were like, Ty, you don't have Arkansas in your top 10. What are you talking about? And I'm like, I'm telling you, something isn't clicking with them on the floor right now. And I don't know if it appears to be chemistry. It appears that they still don't understand or they're not where they want to be in terms of rotation. They're not, guys aren't settling into their roles quite yet. A lot of inconsistencies. I'm not seeing any smoothness. There's not a game-to-game, I don't know what you want to put it, a game-to-game consistency with this team. And I mean, look, you had Likes and Note kill it tonight. I mean, they crushed it. And they still lost. They still lost to Hofstra. I'm hitting the panic button, says Tony. Us not making the tournament would be a terrible look for – no, okay. Wouldn't be a terrible look. Look, it would suck. I mean, I know people are going to jump off the wagon and get off the Muss bus, and they're going to abandon ship. But it's like, man, I think we all feel it. And I felt this way, and I'm not saying this about this year. I think anything is possible with this team. I still think that they could get it turned around. Nothing that you're seeing is like, they can't solve all these issues. It's not like you're not an incredibly small basketball team, right? I mean, they're not as big as they were last year. You're going to have probably a little bit some matchup issues with some of the bigger teams. A little bit, but it's not going to be glaring like we saw some years under Mike Anderson or Palfrey or Stan Heath. I think some of these things can be figured out. They have some pieces, and Jackson Robinson, I think, is clearly someone we need to talk more about. Amude, you talk about someone who's come out of nowhere at times this year. Amude has that spurt ability that we talk so much about. He's capable of getting 12 minutes on the floor and scoring, 8-9 points in 12 minutes. I mean, that's what he's capable of doing. After all, don't forget about what he did coming into Arkansas. He only got 6 points tonight. He's been a little inconsistent, but again, I think that speaks to trying to figure out their roles with this team. Musselman does have to get it figured out. I think missing the tournament is absolutely in play. And then you get a little bit more excited about next year because you feel like help is on the way. I think some of it's chemistry. I think a lot of it, perimeter defense. Not a good shooting team outside. Teams are going to crowd the paint. They're going to crowd down low. They're going to make Arkansas earn it down in the paint, and they're going to force you to try and, get more looks outside. You're going to get more uncontested shots outside, and teams are okay with that because you're not exactly a great three-point shooting team. Now, again, tonight you caught fire there a little bit in the second half, but it almost felt like too little too late. Hofstra wasn't really that concerned about giving up a random three here or there, and that's kind of why you were able to stack up. I think at least I'm pretty sure at least a couple of those were uncontested shots. It looked like open looks, and I think Hofstra was probably being a little generous on defense, trying to make you earn it outside. I'm talking about like the 7-8 minute mark, whatever. But of course, later in the game, a little bit more aggressive defense. But they, I think I'm not hitting the panic button. Oh my God, our house is burning down around us. Again, last year, I kind of felt like I had to talk people off the ledge last year. I know I had people. In fact, some of you that are in here now panicking. Same thing last year. Tony, I'm pretty sure you were one of them. I mean, I'm not prepared yet. Let's get halfway through conference play. And I'm not saying that they're not going to, by the way. I'm not saying that they're not going to fall apart and maybe be lucky to go 500 in SEC play, or they only get 4 or 5 wins in conference play. That could absolutely happen, especially if they don't get this figured out. But I think there's still something to be excited about. I still think I think there's some pieces here that they can get put together, and maybe we'll see what it looks like. What the puzzle looks like after they get it all put together, or maybe they don't ever get there. And if that happens, they're definitely not making March Madness. They're not going to the tournament. 12 wins. So they're only going to win. They're going to win 3 more games. They're going to just win 3 more games. That is like you need to back off the ledge. Not willing to say what our conference record might be, but we must start sharing the ball, get stronger in the paint. Coach Zim's talked about it. I've heard Musselman talk about it. I don't know if you guys ever catch him on his radio show, and of course, I'm sure a lot of you listen to his post-game stuff. I mean, they'll all say it. They are at their best, and they're playing Razorback basketball when they're sharing the ball, when they're getting more ball movement. And I don't know. I feel like a broken record at this point. Do you think we will lose them 5-star? No. I don't know. I know these paid leagues, they can go play for anybody that pays them. They don't have to stick out their promise. But no, I right now I don't think they will. Players don't look at things, and we've had to talk about this before, and some of you guys forget this. They don't look at things the way you do necessarily. They see a problem, and they feel like they can come in and fix that problem. They see an issue like, oh, I can be that guy. They're missing this piece. That's what I can be, especially with these 5 stars, especially with these guys that are just special. They know it. They know they're special. They know that they can assist and help out. They don't look at it like fans do. Oh, no, they've lost back-to-back games. I must decommit or not sign with Arkansas. I need to get out of my signing. They don't overreact like fans do. I'm sure Muss will talk with them like, hey, we're struggling and you guys are going to be the fix next year. They don't overreact like 35-year-old men do in my comment section. Like, oh, God, no, we're screwed. Like, hang on. Do that, 7-8 games in a conference play and you've won 1-2 conference games. Okay, we're in trouble. It's Hofstra. I get it. But like I told you guys Friday, this is a matchup problem. Arkansas is still trying to figure things out. They clearly haven't bounced back from the OU loss. I'm not putting it on that game at all. I will say this: after this week of practice, I don't know how much harder practice can get, because I think we all kind of felt like, boy, they had it rough this last week. I don't know. They didn't respond the way we thought they would. I have faith in Muss. People need to calm down and chill. A little sure wasn't best showing, but I believe he will turn it around, says Brandon Smith. Well, Alex, good Lord, man. Starting to wonder if you're a friend of mine. Golly. There is no ledge. Bro, it's going to be all right, Alex, I promise. And even if they don't make the tournament, it's not the end of the world. I mean, it's not the end of the world. Hofstra has they have 2 mascots in their logo. Never seen that before. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's neat. I guess that's the men that represents the men and women's. That's cool. Might as well start Jackson Robinson and 4 walk-ons. About to put, man, now it's starting to get annoying, Al. Like, bruh, chill out. Like, seriously, man. The talent is currently on the roster with a lot of games. It just needs to finally click. Exactly. Daytona Beach knocked it out of the park. There you go. That's it. Like, they just got to get it figured out on the floor. It is still early. There are still teams. If you watch enough college basketball, and I watch a little bit here and there when I have time, there are still teams they're talking about, holy shit, we don't have We don't have a point guard. We're struggling at the 5 spot. We don't have enough size down low. We're absolutely atrocious at the free throw line. We're sub 65% at the free throw line. We're a 22% or 25% three-point shooting or 22% three-point shooting team. We're horrible from the floor. You know, we have no mid-range game. There's teams that are ranked that are still panicking. So again, I think it's just when you look at the entire landscape of college basketball, there are a lot of other teams that you probably think, well, they're in a better shape than Arkansas is. Look at their record. Look at what they've done. And their fans are still panicking. Like, I don't know. It's just too early. Man, back away from the butter knife, Alex. Oh, Lord. Sorry, man. I'm not like you're almost just trolling at this point. I will say if Muss doesn't make the dance with this roster, then I definitely would be seriously concerned of decommitments and transfers. Maybe. I mean, first off, they're signed, so technically they can't decommit unless you're talking about another class. No, I don't think their players are going to look at this game and go, or look at this season, and if they miss the tournament, go, nope, I want no part of that. I don't think that happens. Now, if it's atrocious, if it's like our friend Alex here thinks is going to happen, and they win 3 more games, you might get a little nervous. But, you know, I mean, you got to remember you still have the entire season to play. We haven't even gotten into conference ball yet. You did lose to Hofstra. You got embarrassed against Oklahoma down in Tulsa. Man, shit happens. Especially this early. We were kind of waiting on this to happen, by the way. Not the Oklahoma blowout, but we were waiting to lose to one of these kind of teams the way they've played. And someone said in Discord, and they got a really good point. They got a really good point. That this is just more evidence that preseason polls are, I don't remember what they said verbatim, but it was like preseason polls are bullshit, and they are. When you get ranked in the top this early, when you see the kind of movement Arkansas made this early in the season, I think we were right. Those of us that were skeptical, like, wait a minute, hold up. There's still some glaring issues here. Now, I did think they got a little disrespected by the media a couple of times, but I'll admit it, they were right. Who's the guy on, oh my gosh, there's several, but the guy that outright refused to put Arkansas in his top 25 when Arkansas was 10th in the country. I forgot who that was. That's going to drive me crazy. But, I mean, we all, like, Razorback Twitter got all over that guy. He got all over that guy. You know he's sitting back chuckling right now. People say when our chemistry comes, we're going to be a force to be reckoned with. When should I expect the chemistry to come together? Tony, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. I have no clue. If it might take, I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't take more than a handful of games against the SEC. I don't know. I mean, you start off against Starkville. I don't know. Hopefully, maybe you get it figured out against Starkville and the light switches on. Maybe the SEC overall as a conference isn't what we thought it was. That is entirely possible. Because they haven't exactly started off great. Bama has. I know everyone's bragging about some of Bama's wins, but it turns out maybe those wins weren't as great as we thought. After we've spent some time on the road per Muss. Yeah, that's the other point. They've lost. They're 2-2, right? On the road. They're 2-2. They won 2 games in KC. And to me, Little Rock's a road game. Maybe I shouldn't call it a road game. I should say away from Bud. You're 2-2 away from Bud Walton because clearly you have a huge advantage. And you had an advantage in Tulsa, by the way. You had 2 people I know were there said it was 50-50, but the more I listen to people call into the radio shows and listen to those guys in the morning, sound like it was 70-30 Arkansas to Oklahoma fans in Tulsa. So you're 2-2 away from Bud Walton. Let's put it that way. Let's be fair. So after Mississippi State, we get a cupcake game against Vandy at home. That should help a lot. What is Vandy's record on the year? They're not atrocious, are they? Yeah, they're 6-4. I don't know that I'd call that a cupcake game. You're starting to look at these teams now that are at least above 500 in conference play, and you're going, oh, crap. Oh, man, they're above 500. Uh-oh. All of a sudden, you're looking at the rest of your schedule, and you're thinking, oh, boy. You know, the only games that for sure, I mean, Georgia, I did not predict would be this bad. I didn't think Georgia was going to be Georgia's bad. They're 4-6. I don't know if they can. I don't know. Bama 8-2 on the year. They lost to Iona. They lost 72-68 to Iona, and then they lost to Memphis on the road. That's Bama's 2 losses. Now they did beat Miami. Okay, whatever. Gonzaga, at the time, who was number 3. Gonzaga is 9-2, but they've lost to Duke and Alabama. Who was the other team they beat that was supposed to be pretty good this year? It turns out they're poo. Maybe it was it Miami or Houston? Was it Houston that everyone thought was? No, they're 10-2. I definitely wouldn't pick Arkansas against Bama right now. I'll tell you that. Not the way they're playing. They've got a lot to figure out, guys, and. You know, Kentucky's kind of a mystery. But they're 8-2. They lost to Duke and Notre Dame. Okay. LSU's, you feel like, is a for sure loss. The best that money can buy, baby. Well, this new mouse is clicking things around. I'm not used to it yet. Florida dropped a game to Texas Southern, who hadn't won a game up to that point or something like that. Yeah, Florida did lose. Yeah. How's Florida doing? They're 8-3. They've lost to Maryland, Oklahoma. They also lost to Oklahoma. You remember that game? It's not a good. I didn't think it was a very good game. I was watching that game thinking, holy shit, they're both awful. They both don't look that good to me. Yeah, they lost to Texas Southern, who at the time was 0-7, and since then they're 2-7. They've won a couple of games. Okay, Florida and RGV, whoever the hell that is. They're riding a 7-game losing streak. Now they've won a couple of games. But, yeah, I mean, you can look around the league and think whatever. But, you know, Florida, I don't think we really know anything. And that's why I'm not going to pick the entire field in conference play. Someone asked me that in my DMs. Are you going to pick the entire conference? I said, hell no. I'm going to pick Arkansas. You know, I don't feel like you know, even with Arkansas, even though you have a finger on the pulse of what's going on with the Razorbacks, it's like I still don't know. I feel like I know, but I still deep down I'm not sure. Are they really this bad? I'm not sure. Bama almost lost today. Yeah, Bama. Who was that? Yeah, Jacksonville State, who's 5-5. They beat them by 6 points. They won 65-59. At Bama. So this wasn't like a neutral site thing or whatever. I mean, this was in Tuscaloosa. And they almost lost to yeah, I mean, again, you just don't know. I don't know. Fishman, the 35-year-old dude's breaking out definitely melted a few eggs in here. Thanks for the super chat, man. I appreciate that, Fish. My Bowl Mania picks are not looking good so far. Yeah, if you guys, I mean, I guess it's too late already, but how is that going, actually? I have that pinned. I don't think I'm doing very well either. I think a lot of people are doing pretty bad. Right now, I am 3-4. Swindler's Picks, I don't know who that is. And ESPN fan 808251719 is 4-3. If you're in there, make sure you edit your name. I mean, we'll give you the shout out and everything here. We'll give you the whole treatment. And then we have 2 people that didn't make picks, but they're in the league. Do we have any offers? No. Richard. Richard Esteban. He's 1-6. No. Nation. I recognize some of these names. John Pigsui is 3-4. Chris Jones is 3-4. Haas is 2-5. Nashe 26, 2-5. Monkey Man 58 is 2-5. Swindler's Picks and ESPN Fan 80. I'm not going to repeat that. Are both right now leading, but we got a long ways to go. Let me look at my picks. What are you doing? Let me look at my picks. I was going to see who we well. So I don't know if you could join yet. Maybe you can still join. I don't know. Maybe you are still able to join. But Yeah, so right now, no one's really blowing anybody away. Who do we have next? Who's coming up? The Raging Cajuns are playing right now. Louisiana. They're trailing at half to Marshall, and I picked Louisiana. Oh boy, fun times. It's not gonna let me look at the rest of the screen though. What's that all about? Why won't you let me look at the rest of my picks? Arkansas, you still got some time. I still have Arkansas favored. That doesn't mean I'm picking them to win, but I do have them picked to win, and I'm saying my official pick I've not made yet. That one's going to be tough to – that's a tough one. I don't know. Let's see. My Bowl Mania picks are not looking good. Oh, I already read that, and I'm not able to scroll down on chat. What's going on? There we go. Texas fan. I'm a Texas fan, but I agree this is the worst loss in the Musselman era. Did LSU lose to Louisiana Tech today, or did they pull off the win? What did LSU? No, yeah, they're 11-0. They won. They beat Louisiana Tech 66-57. They struggled against Louisiana Tech. They struggled. Who's the other game I was watching? Yeah, Penn State. Penn State, I think at the time, was not very good. They were like 3-2. And LSU barely pulled that thing off at home. Now it's Penn State. You're talking about a P5 school. I thought they had another close win. I think Wake was a good game for a little while, but then they pulled away from Wake and they won 75-61. Look, it's the best that money can buy. What can you say? It's the best that money can buy. LSU's wiretap will is slaying right now. We'll see how many. I'm looking at all these games. I just see asterisks next to all of them. That's all I'm saying. If the NCAA does what it takes. If we don't beat Elon by 15-plus points, I'm not so sure that I'm picking Arkansas to beat anybody by 15 right now with the way they're playing. Yikes, my picks aren't looking good either, 3 and 4. Yeah, no one's picks are really blowing up right now. Alex Henderson, out of timeout. He's fresh out of timeout. He says, is Busta Brown playing bowl game? Is Busta Brown playing in the bowl game and then entering the draft? Is that what Coach Carter said? Did he say that? I mean, if he said that, then that's what's happening. I wasn't aware that he said that. Alex, don't send me on a goose chase. This loss is really bad, says Timothy Henderson. By now, this perimeter defense should be a little better because right now it sucks. It's not a good loss. There are no such things as good losses, but where will your head be if we lose to Elon? I don't know. We'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it. If you lose to Elon, and I know very little about the Fighting Teslas. I know very little about them because I do I don't, with basketball, I just do it at like a week-by-week basis, especially this early in the season. Merry Christmas, Kate. Hope your Christmas is awesome. By the way, this next week, we're going to be limited on streams. Clearly, it's holidays and everything. Kids are home. Oh, yeah. Put them in the Heisman Part 2 is out yesterday. Or today. What is today? Today's Saturday, right? Yeah, it's Saturday. Duh. Part 2 came out yesterday if you're a Hogs Plus subscriber. I came really close to recording a piece and throwing it up on the screen, on the opening screen. I came really close to doing that. But I've been getting hit lately. YouTube is starting to demonetize my videos. And I'm not going to lie to you. They write me a check every month, and it's going to hurt if they continue to demonetize my videos. And what they're demonetizing, well, they'll demonetize the whole video, but what they're flagging, it's those videos that I put on the beginning of the show, where I've got the TV on the Patreon page. They're flagging those. And their flag, and I've had another video that I don't think I included anything and they flagged it. So that's going to take a little bit of a toll if I'm not careful. Please support me on Patreon if you guys would, to help with that. That'd be great. So this next week, looking at the schedule, Arkansas doesn't play after Elon. I say I'm not going to stream, but hell, if you lose again, I might have to. But they play Elon. The Fighting Teslas, 6 p.m. on the 21st. which is Tuesday. And thankfully, it's a 6 p.m. game. As of right now, I do not plan on streaming after that game. Now, we're going to do our normal show on Monday at 11 a.m. And depending on what happens Tuesday night, I may just wait I don't plan on doing a post game. So Wednesday, we'll talk about the Elon game, and then Friday. So this next week will be a regular week, but then after that, on the 27th through the 31st, we may have to switch things up. Or hell, we may have to switch things up this week. I'm not sure. If you're in our Discord, I'll try to keep you up to date. I'll try to keep everyone up to date on Twitter. And this is why I hesitate, because I'm always like, well, I'm not going to stream after that game, or I'm not going to stream on that day, and then I do it. Like I always tell you guys, just make sure you're subscribed and you've hit the notification bell. That's all I can say. I do like to stick to that Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because that's the schedule. With it being the holidays, it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to have family over, cousins staying the night and all that. And we've got a small house, so it's really hard to do all that. But yeah, so just try to, if you're in Discord, I'll try to keep you guys up to date, and I'll keep you up to date there. This next week, I'll just say this next week, I don't know what the schedule is going to look like. I do plan on going live Monday at 11 a.m. We may just not have a Wednesday show. Maybe what I'll do is we'll do a post game after Elon, maybe, and then we just won't have another show till Friday, something like that. I don't know. We'll try to get you at least a couple of shows next week, one way or another. How about that? Okay. All right. Yeah, I think some of you guys need to chill. It's gonna be all right. I promise. KJ was in the Heisman odds for next year. Don't know if you know that or saw that. What were the odds, Ash? Do you remember? G Factor 311. G Factor 311. Football transfer news. Don't have anything right now. We're going to get caught up on all that on Monday. I don't know if we're expecting any movement or not in that area. I know that a certain former Fort Smith defensive back who went to A&M is kind of waiting on a Razorback on the Hogs to call him, and I don't think they have. So I don't know what's going on there. Bumper Pool, I don't know if you guys saw that or not. Bumper Pool, what was the bowl? What was the thing that he accepted? Was the NFLPA the NFLPA bowl, the collegiate bowl. So he accepted that. We'll talk about that on Monday, what that means. That's probably the biggest story of the weekend right now, between that and this ugly-ass loss that we just saw today. We're going to talk about that on Monday. And, yeah. So, okay. I'm gonna get back there and hopefully start watching Witcher Season 2 here in a minute. What time is it? 9:48. I'm going to go watch Witcher Season 2 with the wife and try to sleep off this whatever the hell we listened to tonight, whatever ball game that was. So, do you know our O-line status? Our status? Dalton Wagner's going to be back. Ricky Stromberg's going to be back. You feel pretty good about Bo Limmer. Right now, that's really all I got for you. Does that mean anything for any of the players that have accepted? Again, we'll talk about it on Monday. We'll get it all caught up. The only thing I'll say on that is he can accept the bowl. If he plays in it, I was told that means he cannot return. I don't know if that's their interpretation of the rule or if that is the official rule. But this coming from a media source, I said that word. Ugh. This coming from someone from within media, that if you accept and play in the bowl, you cannot return. But I guess that's the case. So if he plays in it, but again, we'll get some more updates on that Monday. Maybe we'll have a clearer image of what that's all about. Okay. All right. I'll see you guys on Monday. I hear you, Celtics for life. I agree. I'll see you guys on Monday, 11 o'clock. Maybe I'll have you up to date what we're going to do the rest of this next week. I'm trying to get it all figured out in my head what the plan is. But hopefully I'll have something for you on Monday. And again, if you're in our Discord, I'll keep you up to date there as well. Okay. Try to sleep this nasty game off. Maybe you've got some rum or some whiskey. I think I'm going to go smoke a cigar here in a second, actually, is what I'm about to do. Try to forget about tonight. And I'll see you guys Monday, 11 o'clock. Be there, all right? Woo pig, go Hogs. Ugh, tonight was not pretty. I'll see you guys Monday. Oh, Lord.
At Direct Service